Okay, so in the last video I found out that the starter solenoid is not, I'm getting power to the solenoid, I'm getting the switched power, I can hear it click, but I'm getting only a half a volt to the starter motor. So I'm going to have to pull that starter. I've tried tapping on it several times, I've tried just working it to see if I can knock off if there's corrosion on the starter solenoid contacts or whatever. It's not happening. So the way to get at the starter on this model is to actually pull the engine. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start by just pulling the hood off. Mine happens to be not even bolted on. Okay, I'm going to start with the easy stuff. Obviously, the wires, some of them are connected all the way through, and some of them are just plugged. So when I go to pull the engine, I don't have to contend with those. So I'll just unplug the ones that will, and I'll have to clean up the corrosion a little bit, starting in there. And then this one for the headlights is just tapped onto the engine tin. Along with its ground, so that has plenty of slack. I'm going to pull it through just to untangle everything. That way this can stay out of the way. The blue wire, that's just a connector. The pink wire here, that's the starter solenoid on the other side. That should be just a regular connector I can pull off. Let's see. Are we showing the right? Yep. Yep, that just pulls right off, standard connector. Get your in back out. Alright, now we got our wires out of the way. To get them fully out of the way, I'd have to take off both of these, pull the fuel lines out. I think that's what I'll do, just to get that completely clear so I can pull that motor as far forward as I'm going to need it, or far up. Okay, I disconnected the fuel lines. I'm just going to make it like that so the motor can go forwards. Obviously this fuel line comes from the tank, this one will stay with the motor. So I'm just going to temporarily set that on there so I know which one's the in, which one's the out. It's probably marked. Now I've got to get to the throttle cables, choke cable, so I'll just take the nut off for the air cleaner cover. And then probably this stays with it. Probably just these two are holding it, I believe. Maybe not. We'll see what comes up when I take these Yeah, it must be something else under here holding it. So I'll take these off and see what's under there. Okay, I got those 3 bolts off, and it turns out that actually secures it directly to the carburetor, so those do have to come out. And now we can see our little mouse nest that we'll be evicting in a separate issue. Now I've got to go for the throttle cable here. I'm sorry, that's a choke cable here, throttle cable here. Got to pull both of those off. And it's a good measure to shut this just in case you happen to drop something or animal gets in there. It's a good measure just to close that choke plate while you're working on stuff. You could put a bag over it, whatever you got to do. Alright, both cables are disconnected. Now we got a ground cable here for the battery ground. What size are you? Not that one. That inch. And this bolt I'm going to actually drive back in because it's got a ring here for a lifting ring. If that's what I use to lift the engine at all, I want that to be solid. I'll just check the one on the other side. Yeah, that way you can put lifting rings in there. That's what the factory used. Okay, let's see what else we have connected. Pretty good there. Okay, now we got the positive cable from the battery. I'm going to take it off at the battery. By the way, I should have this battery disconnected already, but I don't because it's completely dead. But I'm going to take it off right now. Battery is officially disconnected on both ends. Now I may end up replacing that cable because I think that's a little oblong, or I'll just bend it back. It's pretty easy. I would just take it and pull it through, but you got your red wire going to the starting system, I assume. So I don't feel like taking all that off. I'll just take the better solution is just take it off down at the starter, which is located at the bottom of the engine, side engine. Here's where the cable is, and let me get the right wrenches and get that started. Okay, here's a view of the starter. Try to get in there and nice and close for you. The top wire is the one that sends the power to the, actually I'm showing you the solenoid, the starter motors there. Actually they're one piece, but they're attached. The bottom one is power from your battery. The top one sends power to the motor of the starter, and the nut I took off was 1/2 inch. You have to get a pretty long extension. You have to go from underneath. I went up on an angle and got it from underneath. And then here's your starter cable, and we'll take that out of the way. back on the right side of the engine. I just noticed this wasn't coming from underneath, the one that was connected. It's coming from actually up front. That's the electric PTO clutch. Now I'm just going to remove the battery. This one doesn't happen to have a battery hold down, which makes it fairly easy, and it has this handy strap. Take this out. I don't know all what I have to take out here, but I'm going to take out the battery tray. It used to have 4 bolts, it now has 3 bolts. I'm going to take that out. Try to get you in here to see what I'm doing. In case that gives me access to things I need. If it doesn't, it's not wasted, because I'll probably end up taking other things apart yet, because I have steering issues and other issues with this tractor. Alright, got all the hardware I could see out. Let's see. Yep, she comes right out. And you can see that's probably been repainted before, because battery acid is awful corrosive, as you can see by the paint that got eaten off the tractor. Incredible. Okay, that doesn't really get me much access down in there. I wasn't sure if I would need to get down in there or not right now, but at some point I will. I'll pull those. Yeah. Now what I don't know right now is there's a coupler in there that puts the drive shaft onto the engine, or a coupler or an adapter or whatever. It's got 4 bolts. The back side looks like a slip yoke where it goes into the rear end, so I'm wondering if this engine could just slide out with this still attached to the front or not. So I'm going to leave those there because they look a little difficult to get at. But what I do have to take off, for sure, is the engine mounting bolts. I got one there, and then 2 from the bottom. Well, they all can come from the bottom. So I'm going to get hooked up on those. Okay, took off 2 bolts, 2 in the front that you can see easily, and 2 in the back that are just bolts with no nuts on them. Let's see if this engine it appears to be loose. I've just got to get it up high enough to get it on at least there, and then I'll see if that drive shaft is coming with, or if I have to unbolt that, or how that goes. I think the drive shaft pulled with it. Oh, that's awesome. That means I can tilt it. I'm going to have to get some wood blocks or something, and then I can get at this starter. Okay, so what I did is I just really lifted the motor and tipped it in place. I don't want to have to try to get it over these, because I think that's going to be difficult. I may still lift it out for another reason, but anyway, here's our prize. Here's our starter. The starter motor is the part on the top, the solenoid is the part on the bottom. It comes off as an assembly, so let's do that. Alright, back up here at the starter. I got 1 bolt. Let me get you around the front side here. They have some wells in here where it's cut around. 1 bolt here, which is almost out. The other bolt's next to it on the left. That's already, I think, all the way out. Would you believe they're almost all the way out? That's a mile long. Really? Well, I want to come out. Let me figure it out. I'll come back. Yep, I just pulled the whole engine all the way out. Here it is. I'm not sure if there's really any way to get this out without removing these shrouds. It just seems like no matter which way I turn it or tilt it, I'm hitting something. So I'm just going to take these tins off, because luckily this one looks like it could come out without taking the screen and everything else. So that's actually a good thing. So what I'm going to take off is this side shroud. I think that'll automatically take this off. If I take and then maybe I can pull this out of the way, or maybe I got to take the cover off, the side cover off on the other side also. And this side cover is also part of the bottom cover, so you got to take this one off too. Take your spark plug boot out of the way. One of these engine lifting slings has to come off at least on this side, or the bolt for it, to get that cover off. There's one side cover. Now let's see, will the starter come out? Not really. Couple on the bottom there. It might pull out of the way just enough. Let's see if that helps us. Nope, let's just take it all the way off. One more. Well, now the starter comes off apparently. That's what we were looking for the whole time. I'm actually going to open mine up because I think mine just needs the solenoid repaired. If it can, I might just buy that or repair the one I have out to see what it takes. I think there's just some contacts in there that are bad. It's the best I can figure. So I'm going to see what it looks like in there. Actually, before I loosen that all the way, I should have taken this one. That's power to the starter. That's where I was measuring and it was not getting power. Basically, it's power in, switch power, which switches this thing on and off, and then power to your motor. And I was getting only a half a volt out of this side when I was looking at my motor. So I just want to at least open this up and see if there's anything I can fix easily, or just buy another motor. Yeah, I want to get that one before I get the starter completely loose, or else I'll have a hard time turning it probably. This starter is made by Mitsubishi, so I don't know if that's the original, what would have been coming with this machine originally, or if this has been replaced. And here's my solenoid. So this does two things. It connects electrically between the two of these, and it throws the starter gear forward and back with that lever. This thing is so I could hear this part when I was trying to start it going in and out, but electrically this was not connecting. So I don't know if there's any repairing this, or if I just get a used one, new one, get a whole starter. I'm going to look at the costs associated with it and see what's the best option for me. Just a quick tutorial on how these starters work. You have, this is just a coil. It's gonna, inside there is a pin. When that pin gets pushed all the way down, then it'll make electrical contact across these two. So all you're doing is you're giving power here. Your key switch will send power here while you're cranking. This will give power to the starter motor, and as that does, this coil will pull in, and by pulling in, it will throw the gear up into the ring gear on the motor itself. So the way you can test one of these is an electrical test. You can give it power. You'd have to give it power. It has to be grounded, so I'll just use the screw. And you give it power to the coil, and you saw it moved a little, but it's not powerful enough to pull in the whole way. It would probably be about there in normal operation, and as soon as you give it power, it goes in and stays in. Now when it does that, you should have continuity across these two terminals. And let me get my meter set up so you can see it, hopefully. And as I do this, get you the meter and what I'm doing. As I do this, I should have perfect continuity across there. I have nothing. But what I noticed is, let me leave my meter hooked up. If I push that in, if I push the plunger in a little farther, I get continuity. Oh, I just slipped off. It'll stay in now, and I've got good continuity. I got a little bit of a bad connection there, but so that coil is too weak. It just won't pull in anymore. Won't pull that plunger in far enough, hard enough to give the power. It'll pull that in, but only a certain amount, and then I have to push it the rest of the way. So this one's going to need a replacement, obviously.